The uses of small crafts in maritime provinces are becoming common nowadays compared to some years ago. It is fast replacing the traditional mode of transports like outrigger canoes. In fact, outboard motors are being used more nowadays for commercial purposes like transporting goods and people to and from places. In the autonomous region of Bougainville, outboards are used as water taxis, transporting people and goods crossing the Buka Passage. It's a daily activity, and owners of this small craft earn between 200 to almost 1,000 kina per day.
One blood day emsa depend lo passenger, depend lo money come. Cash flow belong cacao coconut si alright na plant mo man come no town, and by looking mo sema by probably about 2, 3, now go up 4, 5, something like all good blood time, and we can reach him 8, 9 lokisim. So not every day, but also one of lucky days. Normal days I must look 200, 250, close to 300.
On a fine day, it's safe here at Buka Passage, but when there is bad weather and windy, safety is a concern.
Nami bla bin come up one time some and thinking lo bla providing more safeties, but skippers are looking. Also, when we long short distance, so plenty money come where I mean use finish law also. All no like him, but only wearing life jackets. All like run awesome how old stop.
While commercial activities tend to get momentum in most cases, small craft operators ignore the basics of safety at sea. Others, however, take their own initiatives to form associations to support their operations, and in this case, the Bougainville Water Taxi Association.
Why me blame starting this association? Hem blow safeguarding all boats na lives blow all man. Past time no been got association. Hem gonna plan the background been come body bump na got problem been come up. That's why me blow Papa Giron been set him up this plan because mama miss blow me employee here. That's why me set him up this plan. I'm president blow this plan association BWTA. Then me blow got bylaws. Hem have safeguarding all got boat. Saron lo pasis. Hem safeguarding all. Now you got one boat also have register long end. So all membership. Buy membership long and also buy law 500 now new boat and also buy law hidden registration. Then also work within one play here, finish law here, new play here and another registration get.
Such initiatives supports to advocate for safety, but the ignorance of people results in accidents. The National Maritime Safety Authority, the body responsible for maritime safety, continues to advocate for safety at sea. A number of accidents have been encountered and reported in recent times. People missing at sea, some survived and others unaccounted for. With the increase in sea accidents, NMSA has been issuing safety warnings to members of the public in maritime provinces.
Despite our many efforts to bring the message home to people so that they can be able to travel on boats safely, we feel that our people need to change their attitude to embrace safety culture at sea. No matter what laws and standards are put in place, people will continue to be lost at sea if dinghies continue to be overloaded, run out of fuel, and travel in bad weather. So it's important that our people must embrace that safety culture that we try to put to them.
Accidents may be caused by bad weather, but human factor and ignorance also contributes to accidents at sea.
That is one of those things which make people determine when to travel or not to travel. And we feel people must be, they must use their common sense. Yeah? They must use their common sense to decide when to travel or not to travel. If the weather is bad, then obviously it is not a good time for them to travel there. And if they decide to take the risk, then you never know what will happen to them. Yeah. Yeah, they could face the consequence of making a bad decision.
The national government, through Parliament in 2011, passed the Small Craft Act to regulate the operations of small crafts in maritime provinces.
The way the Act is written, it gives the authority or the power to the provincial administrations to enforce the Act. And the provincial administrations are responsible to enforce and administer the Act. The NMSA provides technical and advisory role to the provincial administrations to support them to be able to enforce and regulate the Small Craft Act. The provincial administrations are required by the Act to establish the boards, and the board is responsible to administer and enforce the Small Craft Act in each province.
Responsibilities have been given to the 15 maritime provinces to ensure a high-level maritime safety is enforced on people who rely on the sea for their livelihood and sustenance. According to NMSA, 10 out of 15 provinces have commenced implementing the Act, having established small craft boats, with several now actively engaged in the registration and enforcement of the Act. As per the Act, small craft operators are to register so they comply with the requirements of operating using small crafts.
I must also say that 4 provinces have yet to establish their Small Craft Act boards, despite many attempts by NMSA officers to support them to do that. And these provinces are Madang, Central, Gulf, Western, and NCD. The management team will continue to work with these provinces to ensure that they establish their small craft board. It's important that the provincial administrations take responsibility to administer the Small Craft Act, because each province is unique. You know, they have their own situations on the ground, and that is why it is appropriate that it is the maritime province that tailor maritime safety regulation solutions that are best suited for their communities and waters.
NMSA, to support the implementation of the Act, has provided in 14 provinces training, administrative support, office refurbishment, IT safety equipment, and community awareness activities. With these initiatives to support the provinces, the authorities' focus is not only on communities' awareness and advocacy, but also to ensure manufacturers of small crafts comply with the safety standards. Since the establishment of the Act, Milne Bay Province has been well ahead in implementing it, with the first prosecution case reported. Other provinces are yet to report any prosecution cases, but while there are challenges to implement the Act, the National Maritime Safety Authority's message is straightforward: be responsible and ensure safety at sea.
Everyone's attitude must change, from the boat owner, operator, and people who travel in the small crafts, to ensure they are safe.